Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Eve's Creations Paint Party. My name is Eve. It's How To Tuesdays. Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm going to wait for everybody to log on. I'm looking a little disheveled, but that's okay. That's all right. And we'll get started. Say hello if you're practicing with me today. That would be awesome. And I'm going to show you everything I know about trees. Trees. So we're going to be using the main brushes I use for all my paint parties, plus some additional weapons for the evening. So log on and I'll get started showing you how to do everything. We're not doing an actual painting today. I'm just showing you everything I know about trees. So let's get this rocking and rolling. Say hello if you're practicing with me today, and let's say hello to the Mr. Butters, because he might chime in. He likes to do that for some reason, because he's a dog. Say hi, Butters. There he is. There's the man of the hour right there. So that's my Valentine. I don't know about you guys. Hello. So I'm going to show you everything about trees. I'm going to be working on a 16 by 20 canvas. I have it sideways, and we're just going to fill it in, and I'll show you what I know. All right? Sounds good. Sounds good to me too. I'm going to pour my paint and give more people a chance to find me, and we'll get started. Okay? All good. All good. Trees. All sorts of trees. We're going to do winter trees, we're going to do spring trees, we're going to do fall trees, we're going to do trees in the background, trees up close, we're going to do trees with paint brushes and fan brushes and palette knives and all sorts of goodies. So trees. That's how we're rocking and rolling today. Hey, Ardian, hello, Donna, hi, hello, loves. Ready to learn about trees? So, on this palette today, I like to have the palette with the sections so I don't wind up squeezing too much paint, wasting my paint. I'm going to be using white, black, blue, yellow, and red. Same colors. Every single paint party I do, same colors for tonight. I have this nifty little palette right here. I'm going to throw some colors on so I can show you how to do the palette knives. Alright, the weapons this evening are the same brushes I use for every paint party. We have a big boy. He's a 1-inch flat. And I have 3 Fluffies in my possession. There's a large, medium, and small. They're basically any stiff bristled brush you have that's kind of beat up and old and things going in all directions. Hey, Magna. I have Mini-Me. He is just like Big Boy, except he's really small, but he has a nice flat edge on him. I have Tiny, which is for the details. So these brushes are the ones I use every paint party, every Friday. They're also all of the brushes that are included in the paint kits. If you notice my paint kits, want a one-stop shop, those are the brushes that you would be receiving. We're going to practice all sorts of trees, Magna. All sorts of trees. So we're going to be doing ones like last Friday. We're going to be doing new ones. We're going to be doing trees, all sorts of trees. Far away trees, close-up trees, anything you can imagine. Added to the weapons this evening, I have 2 palette knives. Watcha! Look at that shiny. This one is my most versatile one. This one has a cool little angle to it. And this one is if you're going to treat yourself to a palette knife, this is the shape I would recommend for your first palette knife. You can accomplish many things with this knife. So this is the shape. You got it, Magna. Yay, 4 trees. Another palette knife I have is this one. Kind of looks like a trowel for a mason. So we have this palette knife. I also have my nifty little fan brush. Ooh. When you're picking out fan brushes, spend the money. Last week I was showing you something with a fan brush, and I pulled out this handy little guy. Now, if you notice, he's really soft, and I can use him for some things, but when I get him wet, it all separates. You want to spend extra money on a fan brush that is to where it's nice and stiff. The bristles are nice and stiff. They're all fanned out perfectly. when you wet the brush, they don't separate. So cheap fan brush, good price fan brush. If I can learn how to talk, spend the extra little bit of money. Get yourself, that's one thing with supplies. Hi. Hello. I don't want to say your name because you corrected me last time and I can't remember the correction. So I'm going to go with Renee. But I might be wrong. Also tonight, and this is what Bob Ross uses a lot, this is a liner brush. You notice the bristles are very long and very thin. This is what we call a liner or a script. So you'll find these brushes, you look up script, and sometimes they're called a liner brush, and they have very, very long bristles, but it's very small, like the tiny is. The tip gets very, very small. See that? So I'm going to show you stuff with those things tonight too. I also have cardboard on deck. Whatcha? Handy dandy nifty cardboard. So, if you don't have funds to get yourself palette knives and you don't have funds to get yourself this and that, guess what? This puppy works just as good. Works just as good. So, I am going to, I got my paint. I got my weapons. Obviously, you want to keep your brushes in your water unless you're using them. You know, when you swirl, tap, dab your brush, swirl it in the cup. Tapping on the side, dabbing on the paper towel. You want to go in the shape of your bristles when you're dabbing it on the paper towel. And you want your bristles to be wet but not dripping. Wet but not dripping. So I'm going to swirl, tap, dab, big boy. Dab him on my paper towel. And you see his bristles are wet. See the shine? But they're not dripping. Okay, that's how you want to do that. And real quick, I'm just going to throw a little background on here for me. Now, everybody, I want you to remember. I hope I said your name right, Renee. Yes, you are awesome. I see your comment now. Thank you so much. Hi, Renee. What is a good brand? I use, so for the fan brush I just showed you, I'm going to read it right off the brush. This is an Artist Loft Vienna. And Artist Loft does a lot of affordable things, but this is part of their Vienna line. And I purchase a lot of their Vienna line. And this one, the script I showed you, is a Premier Midnight. So that says Premier Midnight on it. The cheapy brush, the cheapy brush, is just called a Maestra. So I don't know. But you know, you might be able to find one affordable. Just look for those things I told you about. So those Maestro ones, some of them are really good. Some of them I'm not too excited with. The brushes that are in my kit are the Fluffies or Princeton brushes. The big boy is a Qualita Colada. So that's what this brush, 5 years of paint party business, still kicking. That's why I put these brushes in my kit. Awesome, awesome, awesome brush. Right there. The Fluffies are Princeton House, and all the other ones are the Qualitica. If I can figure out how to talk right. All right. So I'm going to throw a background on here real quick. I'm just going to grab some blue and white. So what I want to tell you guys is these sessions, these are your sessions, okay? These are your sessions to ask me anything you want to ask me. Now, I'm going to try to keep our videos on point and let it be of the subject matter, which tonight is trees. But if you have any artist questions, hi Isabel. Awesome. Yeah, Magna, they're really good brushes. This big boy is a really good brush. 5 years of people not knowing how to use it, and he's still kicking. And they're brand new in my kit, so I really put my heart and soul into those kits. I got really mad at what people were selling to newcomers to painting. My kits basically have everything you need, and it has a ton of paint, the same paint I use. They're like, I know I don't want to sound like an infomercial here, but I'm really proud of them. Let's just put it this way. I'm really, really, really proud of them. So I'm just throwing a background on here real fast. I just did a little bit of blue and I'm throwing some white underneath it. Throwing some white underneath it. That's all. Maybe I'll grab some blue and yellow. Blue and yellow. Get like a little green going on here. So I'm just throwing something on here real fast so we can throw some trees on here. I'm going to show you trees of all seasons. I'm going to show you all sorts of techniques and we'll be set. We will be set. Isabel, I love getting new brushes. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. It's like you want to make any artist happy, give her a pack of new brushes. I'm telling you, new brushes, new paint, new canvases, anything new for art. Like that's what I want. That's what we're cooking with. All right, so here's my very simple background. And first thing I want to show you, I don't like this one streak. I'm being kind of OCD about this, even though it's supposed to be simple. I don't like that one green streak right there. Is that being silly? I think that's being silly, right? All right, I'm going to stop playing. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is when you do trees in the background, there's a few ways to set this up for yourselves. Okay? One of the ways I do it is by grabbing one of my Fluffies. So if I'm doing really small trees, I'm going to grab a smaller brush. Hey, Lisa, what you doing, hon? Hey, Cheryl. These videos are always available for free on my business page, Cheryl. So you just go under the link of videos. You will find every single one of my videos, and they're free to watch as a replay. All right? Oh, my goodness. Lisa, you can't be painting a cabin and forget to come here. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't do that. I hit a button. Sorry. Last time I dropped the phone. This time I'm hitting buttons. So with my fluffy brush, I mash it into my paper towels really, really well. And see how the bristles get really, really fluffy? And I want to pick dark, dark, dark colors. They're far away. You are so welcome, Cheryl. They're far away, so they're going to be dark. You're not going to see much detail. So what am I going to grab? I'm going to grab some blue just on the tip of this brush. I'm going to grab some yellow just on the tip of this brush, and I'm going to grab the smallest amount of black, like hardly any at all. I'm going to do a little mush into this brush, okay? And then I'm going to come right back here, and very simply, all I'm going to do is tap. And I want you to see, this is kind of what we did like last week. When I tap this in, I want to jump around. I don't want to go in a straight line. I don't necessarily need a lot of paint. And when I tap this in, you want to leave spaces. You want to leave spaces to where the other color is coming through. Hey, Joanne, how you doing? You're late, Jen. You're late. Okay, so when I tap this in, you want to leave some spaces and you want to jump around, okay? When it starts to look like this, grab some more paint. But you don't need a lot. And you want to jump around. You want to leave spaces. You don't want to cover that up. You don't want it in a straight line. See how I'm going up and then down and up and then down? All right, so that is doing a background of trees. Like they're all the way in the distance. All the way in the distance. See that? All these lovely little trees all the way in the distance. Just like that. Hello, Patty from Washington Street. Ivette's late too. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm a paintbrush hoarder. I just walked in where you're talking about what paintbrushes you were using and what brushes you were raving about. Can you share again, please? Sure, I can do that, Patty. So, what brushes was I raving about? I was raving about the brushes in my kit. The brushes in my kit are either from Princeton House or this one is a Qualitita. I can't say the business name of this brush, but I don't know if you can see it. Qualita Colada Wash. That's what Big Boy is. It's only 4 p.m. where you are. And then if you want to find some good brushes that cost a little bit more money, but I like them, Artist Loft has a Vienna set. And Premier, this is a Premier Midnight Script brush right here. All right, now, if you want to highlight these trees, all right, say there's a little sun hitting them, right? Notice I let it dry for a tiny little bit. A tiny little bit. I'm going to try to get to all of your comments, but I also want to cover a lot of ground. So I'm just going to grab that same dirty brush, and I just put yellow on it. That's all I did. That same dirty brush. And this is going to be a very light touch. And you just tap this in. And look how I'm leaving a lot of space. I'm just tapping this in very lightly. And I'm leaving a lot of space. So, there's some more brushes for you to hoard, Patty. Some more brushes for you, okay? You got it, girl. So you leave a lot of space in between. And then you could add even some extra marks where you didn't put the dark, but maybe some light is catching like right on the top of that tree. See that? So, if you want to highlight your trees in the back, this is how you do it. Okay, very light touches here and there with the color, leaving spaces. You can even put a pop that doesn't even have any dark behind it, like the sun's really blasting that sucker. And you can just practice with different colors. Okay, say you wanted this to be autumn. All right, autumn. Grab your red. Grab your red and yellow, because red and yellow make orange. And you could just tap autumn colors on here. See? And all I did was grab red and yellow. Nothing special. So if you want it to be autumn, just do the same exact thing, except grabbing red and yellow. And if you look from far away, now if I get my finger off the camera, I have so much on this counter, it's hard for me to put everything where I need it. Oh, goodness. Then you have autumn back here. All right? Now, there's one more step to these. There's a few ways you can do it. I showed you how to do that with the fluffy brush. You can also do that with a fan brush. So, the fan brush, same thing. You're just putting paint on it and you're just smushing. That's all you're doing. And I'm going to show you a whole tree with this, so we will get back to this. The last step you want to do is you want to put some stems in here. You want to put some stems in here. You're doing a winter tree painting? Awesome, Magna. Sounds good, Patty. So, you want to do a winter tree. I will get my words to come out of my mouth properly. I promise you. They will come out of here the way they're supposed to. So, the last thing you need to do is stems. Now, if you have a palette knife, you can very easily just cut them in. Swoop. You just cut in. This is really dry. But you can just cut in all these stem pieces. I don't know. This dried a lot, so it's hard to see. Okay, there we go. That worked. See that? See that little cut I made right through the paint? You do a few little scrapes. You can put in, if it dries too much, you won't be able to do this. Notice I have to do it on the fall color. See those little scrapes? See that? Alright, so that's how you can do it with a palette knife. You just scrape it right off. You could turn around and grab a tiny. Put some black paint on a tiny. And you just do little lines. You don't do a whole line. Like just do here, then here. Don't do a whole line. Because you're not going to see a whole trunk from top to bottom when it's this far away. You can even do like a little couple branches that way. Alright? So, you need to put a couple stems in there. And then you'd be all set. And that would be your faraway trees. Alright? So, covered faraway trees. Let's do a close-up. 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 I'm awful, right? I'm so corny. Close-up. Anyway, let's do a close-up. What am I going to do with a close-up? Alright, again, I'm going to grab that fluffy brush that I was using before. because I like those, and that's what I use for my parties. So if you can learn using one of those, that would be great. All right, so I'm just going to smush it all around. Patty's shopping now. She's looking for the goods. And I'm going to come, obviously, closer, right? We're going to do some close trees. I'm just going to do trees right across here. All right, so let's start with the easiest tree. A pine tree. Is that the easiest tree? Yes, it is the easiest tree. Again, I'm going to load up my brush with some yellow and some blue. Yellow and blue. Because yellow and blue make green. And then I'm going to dab that all into my brush. You want to start with your dark first. Dark first. Everybody say that together. Dark first. That's what we're going to do. Okay? Again, you're just tapping. And you want to make sure that you leave a point to the top of your tree. So you dab in a little line. And then you just start to work your way outwards. And then from that center, you go down and work your way outwards again. And I'm just tapping the same way I tapped on the big one. Dark first, you got it, Magna. So, then you pull down. 1 second, Patty. 1 second. Okay? And then you go from the center of that. You want to have these spaces in between your things, because as you add more layers, they're going to get filled in. And you don't want it filled in too much, because then you're going to look like you just have one big globby square. You're not going to look like you have a tree at all. So just like that, you just tap in yourself a pine tree. You know what? I can't see it, Patty. There's paint over it. Oh, it's a 10/0 for the fan. I would recommend getting a bigger fan, though, if you're going to do a fan. This is a 10/0, though. Once you have that, now you got to add your other colors. Say it's in the summer. It's not snowing out, right? So this side I'll do summer. This side I'll do winter. Again, I'm just going to grab that yellow like I did for the background. I'm just going to grab that yellow. I'm just going to put yellow on this brush. You're welcome, sweetie. I'm just going to put some yellow on this brush. And I'm going to go on this side of the tree. And I am just tapping on the top part of that triangle. Okay? You do not want to hide the dark. See how you can still see the dark under there? Alright, so I am just tapping. And then I come over here and I could tap a little more. But you do not want to hide the dark. And as you do this, the more you play with something, the bigger it gets. Like I said, remember those little sideways things are going to get filled up? See how quickly that got filled up? So that's what you want to do. Okay? But you do not want to lose the dark. You just want to put the light. And you can have fun with that as much as possible. So that would be a pine tree in the summer. Pine tree in the winter. Obviously, we're doing snow. So what color would I need, right? We need some white paint. So I'm swirl tapping, dabbing that Fluffy. And I'm going to grab some white paint. Again, I'm just tapping in, smashing on the side. Kid friendly, Jen. But I do have a lot of those. Alright, so white paint. Just gonna tap it. Here we go. Here we go. So just like that, light little taps. Leaving some space in. Alright, light little taps. Leaving some space, okay? And then you could like cross over on this part. So that would be snow. Don't overthink it. Don't overdo it. If you overdo it and get like a glob of white, very simply, just grab your tree color and put your tree color back in. See? That's all. So that's a pine tree with a beat up old bristly brush. And again, you want to cut in a stem. Now you can use a palette knife to cut in a stem. That's right. You guys are silly. I love it. I love it. You guys are amazing. So again, you could use a palette knife to cut yourself in a stem. is what I like the trowel for. Okay, so you can just cut in a stem. But you got to make sure, like, this is how Bob Ross does it. I'm not a fan, but you can easily cut in a stem that way if you want to. Or you can use that tiny brush. Use that tiny brush and you paint in a stem. This is how I like to do it. So obviously the stem is going to go underneath where we did that long piece. Okay? And you're going to skip around because you're not going to see it. Alright? So you skip spaces. See how I skipped spaces through it? I just ran down the center though. Alright. Now I'm going to show you a pine tree with a fan brush. I have way too much stuff on this counter. See? Look. That's what the problem is. I have way too much stuff on this counter. Plus my holder for the phone. Alright. Fan brush pine tree. Fan brush pine tree. Fan brush pine tree. That's exactly right, you ladies. You ladies out there. Here's my fan brush. Now, when I grab the paint with my fan brush, I want to grab the paint mostly on the corner of the brush. On this corner. So, I have like blue, white, and yellow all kind of gobbed up here. So, I'm just going to grab from there. And notice how I put the majority of it on one side of the fan brush, okay? And then you could do a little tap tap, work it into the rest of the brush. Here we go. You ready? So, same concept, different brush. You want to score yourself in a top. And then that part that you filled with all the paint, the side that you filled it in with all the paint, you're very simply just going to smash that side in. Just smash that side in. That's all I'm doing. And if you notice, you get the same effect pretty much as you would with the Fluffy. It's a little different. And then you can play with turning your brush around. Again, I'm going to fill that up with paint. I'm going to fill that one corner up. Just that one corner. And that's the corner I smash with. And then, so I'm smashing, smashing, smashing. When I get to the end of the bristle, I turn it. So it comes out straight. So it's the same exact thing as using the Fluffy brush I just used, except it's a fan brush. And you basically go down, turn the brush, go this way, turn the brush, go that way. Turn the brush, go this way, turn the brush, go that way. And then you do the bulk of your stuff, mashing that one corner in. Alright? Pine tree with fan brush. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Alright. So, next thing I want to show you. As soon as I take a sip of my coffee. Next thing I want to show you is, let's do the bark of a birch tree, okay? Because a lot of you wanted to see birch trees. So let's do the bark of a birch tree. Let's go over here. And I'm going to put in some white. Swoop, right here. So you can see a birch tree, alright? So I'm just going to take Big Boy. I'm going to grab my white paint. Just the tip of Big Boy, ladies. Patty, Jen. Who else is being? Angie. All of you girls out there. Just the tip of Big Boy. So, there we go. And I'm just going to go swoop. There is my line. Okay, now it's birch tree. So we can just turn the brush the other way. When you're making a straight line, the faster you go, the straighter it's going to be. And when it's a thick tree, you can turn the brush. This is a 1-inch flat. So I literally just pull it nice and flat and straight down. And as I pull it, if I go really fast, it's going to be straight. Qualita. Patty, you should just order my kit. You silly girl. You'll get all of the brushes and extra supplies. You silly. All right, so I'm just going to pull this way. Okay, now, Birch Trees have those fun little lines and stuff going on, right? They have that fun stuff going on. So you want to put a little brown in there. So I'm going to make myself some brown real quick. Well, how do you make brown? Okay. Okay. Here you go. It's on the event page. Go to the event page. Aw, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, go to the event page, hon. There's the instructions are right there. So brown is red, yellow, and you can mix a little bit of blue if you want, a little bit of black. And if you mix that all together, you're going to get a brown. I'm going to add a little bit of white to that to make it a lighter brown, like a, so, okay, blue, red, yellow, or a little bit of black if you want to. I got myself a brown here, okay? So, obviously, I didn't make enough brown, but anyway. Now, using my fluffy brush, you too, Cheryl, right on the event page. And also there's posts about it on my business page. And you can DM me too. That's awesome, Patty. You can also DM me and all of that good stuff. So amazing, ladies. Yes, we will definitely talk about that. Yes, Cheryl. Yes, Patty. I got you, girls. No worries. So they're $45 plus shipping and handling. On the event page, you can see all this stuff. So I'm taking my little fluffy brush here. And the thing you want to do with a birch tree, you got to remember they're round. So when you put your lines in, you want to give them a little bit of a swoop. That's really technical, right? So when you put your lines in, give them a little bit of a swoop. If you could put lines in straight across, but they'd go in the middle. They would go in the middle, okay? The ones coming from the side need a little swoop. Need a little swoop like that, all right? Now, you could put that in with that. You could turn around and put that in with the fan brush, which is fine. You could put that in with the fan brush. Again, you just want to swoop. If you're going from the side, and the fan brush kind of breaks it up a little bit more, adds these cool little things. So that's kind of cool about the fan brush. If you're going in the middle, you want to go more straight across. All right. Now, birch trees also have those black pieces. And all that really is you want to take some black, and with a regular small little brush, you can squiggle into the tree. All I'm doing is squiggling into the tree, see? Or you could put some lines like that. Put some lines on the side, in the center, whatever you want to do, all right? Now, I have a really fun trick with that. So, I am going to get some black paint on my other palette. I'm just going to scoop it so I can show you the other trick, because this is really, 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 really fun. All right, so I'm getting a flat palette here, and I'm putting some black paint on it. That's all I'm doing because I want to show you something. Now, you know how you see Bob Ross all the time? He's like, oh, just slice a piece of your paint. Awesome, Patty. Hi, Nancy. So, I'm going to show you how Bob Ross does it, all right? So, he pulls his paint nice and flat like this. He pulls it nice and flat down his palette. And then he cuts across. And then he cuts across, and you can see that you get a little line of paint. So let me wipe off my palette, and I'll show you that again. So Bob Ross does this all the time, and like I really took me a good minute to figure out how he did it. So he pulls his paint nice and thin and flat. And then he cuts across at an angle like this. And you get that little roll of paint on there. All right, everybody see that? That's how he does it. The little sneaker. Now with this little roll of paint on your tree, you go right to the side. And you can easily just swoop right across. And then you could cut in a few little things if you want to, if it came out too thick. So you go right to the side, you tilt your palette knife a little bit, and go across. Now, as you use up this paint, see how those were really dark, but then as you get up here, hi Nancy, love you girl. As you get up here, it starts separating more. All right? So that's how you do it with the palette knife. Okay, so guess what? You can do the same thing with cardboard. That's what I wanted. That's the trick of the night. That's what I'm so excited to show you guys. You can do the same thing with a piece of cardboard. I got my piece of cardboard, right? I'm really excited about this. This is like the trick I wanted to show you. I'm running out of birch tree. So I'm going to angle up to that one spot that's left. So you can take a little tiny piece of cardboard and you do the same thing. You just pull yourself a little tiny paint on the edge of that cardboard like that. And you go up to your tree and you can do the same exact thing. You put it on the edge and you just give a little press and you swoop. Look, see what the cardboard does? Credit card works great too, Donna. Good idea. Credit card works great too. So, I think it's awesome. I love this trick. And see what the cardboard's doing? And the more you run out of paint, the better you are. So, if you want to, I would suggest when you first load up your piece, to get some of the excess paint off of it, like push it onto another piece of cardboard first, because the less paint the better the effect. But literally you could just take a piece of cardboard and put in all that stuff. Credit card, transparent paper, string, I would be afraid to use a string. You go with your bad self, girl. So any of those little tricks, and then you could just dab with that cardboard to give yourself like those things. That's really cool. Now, obviously my birch tree looks like a big mess because I put a lot of black onto it. But that's a birch tree. Yes, palette knives, paint scrape knives, all those good things. So now I'm gonna show you a regular tree. All right. A big old beautiful regular tree. Let me get a drink. We're going to go back to big boy. That's right, fam. That's right. You guys have all these wonderful ideas. Share away. We're all here to learn. We're all at different levels, and I 100% love it. Yes, keep the ideas coming. Keep the ideas coming. So, great big black blobs of terror, Magna. They're all over my fingers. Because I had it on my paper towel. Alright, so I'm going to swirl tap that big boy again. The more you swirl, the cleaner he gets. That's a really good idea, Isabel. I never tried string, so that would be pretty interesting. I guess you just hold it really tight and then pull it a little bit. That sounds good. Yep, and the painting scrapers work great too. Okay, so big boy's nice and thin. He's nice and flat. See that? So, now you can make your trees with brown, with, if you have brown paint. I'm just using my black because that's what's handy and for me to still move quickly tonight to show you guys everything. So I'm going to take my black paint and I'm going to wipe my paintbrush off on the side. I know, right, Magna? Great big blobs, black. I get it. I make a mess. Magna loves it. Magna's my little boss. She's 10 years old, and she can paint her little pants off. She's so good, and she could probably answer any question you might have about my paint parties, because she's been with me for the longest time. She's my fam. Mwah. Love you, Magna. So, nice and thin, nice and flat on the brush. And the reason you want it thin and flat, I'm trying to figure out a spot to go here. Maybe all the way on the edge here. No, let's cover this pine tree up. Okay, so you hold your brush back here. Hey, you know what? It works for you. Go for it, Isabel. That's perfect. Go for it. That's an amazing trick. I've never even heard of that, so that's amazing. And if it totally works for you, do it, girl. And maybe you'll practice some of the other ones from today, too. It's all about having fun. See, Lisa does that, too, so there you go. So you want to hold your brush back here. You want to go straight up to the canvas. Straight up, like this. Perpendicular to your canvas. And the reason you're holding the brush back here is it gives up control. And we control freaks, us ladies, and some guys too, need to give up control. The closer you hold your brush up here, the more control you have. But you're going to make a thick line. Back here, all the way back here. And if you notice, as you're painting, you slowly creep up towards the front again. It happens all the time. Pay attention to it being back here. So if anybody remembers last Friday when I did the posts on the cabin, and he asked how I got my thin lines, this is how I do it. Faster you get, straighter it'll be. Perpendicular to canvas, and just go swoop straight down. Probably would have helped if the paint didn't dry on my brush. Let's do that again. Swoop straight down. That's how you get a straight line. Okay? Now, doing the branches, same thing. You want to pull your paint nice and flat on Big Boy. You're going to hold back here. You're going to start where you were. And then you're going to roll your fingers to be able to turn your brush. It's all good. That's why I say the faster you go, the straighter it'll be, because when you go really fast, it's going to take that shake out of your hands. Like, you're going faster than your shakiness. Yeah, because I've taught a lot of people that have a little shake in their hands, and the faster you throw this in, when you go swoop really fast, the shake doesn't happen. So, but I like that trick too. So, you want to learn to roll your brush. Now, I call this the show me the money move. Any of you remember the show me the money, right? Give me the money. And I'm just moving my thumb up and down on my finger. Now put the paintbrush in there. And see how that twirls my paintbrush? See that? See that? Okay, that's what you want to learn how to do. It's called show me the money. Well, I call it show me the money. Okay, so you're going to go, you follow along what you already painted. And you want to pull off of there. And I'm moving my thumb. Did you see my thumb move as I did that? Now, obviously that is a thick line. So when you put in your limbs, you want to come back down and make your trunk bigger. That's right, Magna. Give me your money right now and I'll paint you a beautiful tree. So when you do your limbs, you're going to come right back down that limb and you want to make your trunk thicker. Okay, the trunk is the thickest part. All right. And then you just lift off. You just pull along, lift off. Okay? Now, I'm going to come up here. Same thing. Look where I'm holding my brush. Pay attention to what my thumb's doing. Straight up against the canvas. I'm going to go along that line I made. Roll my thumb. There's another limb. That limb is nice and thick. I'm going to come up here, come back down, make my trunk thicker. All right, let's make this a little higher. Let's do another one so I can show you the seasons. Thin line of paint. Still holding back here. Gonna roll my thumb. I'm gonna put my arm so you can kind of see the line being made. So don't, don't judge me with the weird arm. All right, onto the tree. Pull out from the line I already made. Roll my thumb. There you go. Just let it go. Now, if it's really thick right there, make this part thicker. Make this part thicker. Everything gets thicker on the way back. And that's the only way to get your tree to look proportional. So if your limb turns out to be super thick, you got to make, if you're thick out here, you got to come back, make this thicker. Come back, make that thicker. Come back, make that thicker. That's the only way. Yes, I'm going to do that, Jen. We're going to get there. All right, a few more things I need to show you. I guess Jen is tired of hearing about the show me the money trick. All right, I just want to show you, though, you can, putting your branches, these were limbs, putting your branches on, again, thin amount of paint on your brush. You're going to follow along your limb. And you pull out from your limb. So I'm starting where my limb is. And I'm going to pull out from my limb. And those are like the thinnest parts. Start where my limb is, pull out. Start where my, there's my little branch. I can pull out from that branch. Okay, there's my little branch here. Pull out from that branch. All right, Patty, thank you so much. Awesome, I'll talk to you later. Pull out from here. Okay, and this is all making sure that your paint's nice and thin on your brush. You're holding back here. And you can do all these amazing lines, all right? Now, like I said, if this turns out thick, thicken this, thicken this, thicken this. Now, next thing is you need the twigs. Twigs you do with tiny. You do twigs with tiny. Okay, and you can do twigs with that liner brush I was telling you about. Now, the secret is you want to make sure your paint is nice and thin. So you can add a little bit of water. Not too much because you don't want it to lose its color. And I'm rolling tiny in that. Roll, roll, roll. All right? You can hold tiny like a pencil. And you don't press harder. It's not a marker. If you run out of paint, you got to grab more paint. So, you just follow along what you did, come out, and you can make your twigs. Okay? Thin paint. They sell product to thin paint out, acrylic paint. I just use a dab of water, especially something like this. And you can use that small brush to make your... Now, see that got thick? So this has to get thicker, this has to get thicker, that has to get thicker, all the way around the whole tree. Alright, that's how you keep it proportional. The liner brush is super duper fun. Super duper fun. That's what Bob Ross uses in his paintings, and it's a lot of fun. You got to make sure that your paint is nice and loose. So, like I said, I'm just going to add a little bit of water to it. Just going to add a little bit of water to it. I use my paint knife to mix it all together there. Okay. Alright, so nice thin amount of black paint. Let me get some more paint on there. Okay, so nice thin black paint. See how it's nice and thin? Right? You take your liner brush. See what it looks like wet? It's really cool. You can run it through this thin black paint, spinning it at the same time. This brush is really fun. It's called a script brush and a liner brush, whatever, okay? And, okay, bye, Lisa. All right, same thing, but this brush does it really cool. Again, I'm going to hold back here with a little bit of control. I'm going to follow along what I already painted. And that guy gets them super, super thin. And what's cool is, kind of adds a little bit of a shake to it that I have no control over. So it gives you like a little bit of a wiggle you weren't expecting. And I think that's the most fun part. But it can get your little twigs really thin. And it's a lot of fun. And if you do give it a little wiggle, it does like a little wiggle action. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle it just a little bit. Wiggle it just a little bit. Okay, alright, so that's the script brush. That's one of my favorites. That's okay. It doesn't matter if you're left-handed or right-handed. Whatever you need to use. It's a fun brush. It really is. I like having it. As long as you use thin paint with it, it gives a little wiggle. It gives you a little less control, so you wind up getting these fun little things happening. It's awesome. All right, Jen, I'm doing the flowery stuff. Oh, sure, Nancy. That's called the script brush. There it is. Good job, Isabel. Good job, sweetie. Awesome, Jen. I can't wait to see it, Magna. Thank you so much. That's what a script brush looks like. It's really long, thin bristles. Okay. So, I'm going to go back to my Fluffies. Love my Fluffies. I love them. I love them a lot. Alright, good job, Nancy. Good job. Good job making a tree. Isabel's on point. Love it. Alright, mash, 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 Fluffy. So he's nice and fluffy. Beat up old bristly brush. That's all he is. Springtime. Springtime, blue and yellow, right? Blue and yellow, if you happen to have greens. Smash it into my brush. Now, I use this as a cover-up because if I mess up part of my tree, guess where the flower stuff is going to go? Over my mess up. Again, you just push this on. And you want to start with your dark. You want to start with the darker color first. Now, does it have to be on the bottom of every limb? Absolutely not. Can you go over limbs you painted? Absolutely. Am I keeping any rhyme or reason to how I'm putting this on? That is a negative. Am I putting it on where I made mistakes? You better believe it. You better believe it. Okay? So, and oh, another big mistake everybody makes is they follow the branch for some reason. Don't follow the branch. Don't follow the branch, guys. You're basically go rogue, okay? Don't follow the branch. Let me show you up in the blue so you can see it. I'm so happy. So, don't follow the branch, all right? So, look at this big old limb. There's not even any branches coming off of it. But guess what? If I smush some paint on there, all of a sudden something's going on that I can't see. So, do not follow the branch. Because people follow the branch, they do this. I know that's the trunk, but I'll show you what you do. You guys do this. You go like on one side of the branch, and then you go on the other side of the branch. Don't do that. Smush it all around with no rhyme or reason. Go completely rogue. And don't do this. Don't make Q-tips. I see a lot of people that make Q-tips. They put smushy on the edges of their tree, like Q-tips. Don't do that either. All right? Those are no's. No rhyme or reason. Smush it all around. If you made a mistake, 6,000% cover it up. Now, the same as the background trees. When you add another color or you add a highlight, again, I'm going to grab the yellow. I'm going to mash it into my brush a little bit. Yep, don't do that, love. Don't do that, okay? I'm going to mash it into my brush a little bit, and you very simply can't see what I'm doing because there's way too much green on this brush. Let me clean this brush off. No, let me just grab a different brush. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple, Eve. Let's just grab a different brush. So I grabbed a nice clean brush. I'm going to put yellow paint on it. I'm going to dab it into the brush. And when you put your highlights, again, it's a light tap, especially if your paint's still wet. And again, you don't want to lose your dark. And if you noticed, I actually tapped some highlight where there was no dark green at all. Okay? And you want to leave this darkness in there. Right? You want to leave that darkness in there. Okay? That's how you do the highlights. All right? Now, some fall colors. Okay? Let me clean this off. Let me show you some fall colors. I don't know, Catherine. I'm not really sure about doing another Zoom. I'm definitely doing the lives every Friday. I'm not sure about a Zoom party just yet. So, fall colors. Okay, so I want to start with a dark color first. So, you know what? I'm going to make myself a brown. How'd I do that before, right? Red, yellow, a little bit of blue. Got a big old mess on my palette here. I'm going to smush that nasty, icky brown color. Add some white to it. That'll do for our purposes. Okay? So, fall. Because fall is a lot of stuff, right? So, let me just start with a brown. What the heck? I'm just going to put a brown in here. Oh my goodness, I covered my trunk. See what I'm saying? Go rogue with this. Go rogue. Okay? So I'm just going to pound some brown on my canvas. Now, to get your colors to really, really pop, you want to let that dry a little bit. Alright? If you start just loading different colors onto here without giving it a chance to settle in and dry, you're just going to wind up with a big mushy mess. So give that a minute to dry, all right? Give that a minute to dry. So while that's drying, does anybody have any questions for me? I tried to keep up with all your comments. Thank you so much for the plans on getting the kits. I really appreciate that, ladies. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Because I need a drink of water. Your girl's getting thirsty over here. Lots of talking, right? I hope you're learning something. If there's any questions you guys have, we're going to let this dry a little bit. That's the key. You got to let it dry a little bit. I'm getting a little thirsty, so let me grab my seltzer. Megna's making a, oh, we're not done with the foliage yet, Jen. We just got started. So, the kits. You want to see what's in my kit? I could show you what's in the kit. Oh, you're so welcome, Catherine. You're so welcome. I can show you what's in the kit, Cheryl. I'll show you, girl. Let me get my seltzer. Let me take a swig. Oh my goodness. Okay, sure, no problem, sweetheart. So my kits, let me wipe my hands off so I don't get any paint on them. let me take let me take you away from the painting for a minute so I can show you my kit. And excuse my kitchen, it's in the middle of being remodeled. But so here's my little infomercial, but I'm very excited about it. So I'll show you. Yes, it's fizzy water, Magna. That's exactly what it is. It's fizzy water. All right, let me turn the camera on. Okay, so this is my kit. Comes in a canvas bag, right, that you can decorate. You get two 11 by 14 canvases. You get a complete instruction on how to keep all of your supplies that are in the kit in good condition. You get all of those brushes I mentioned before. There's Big Boy, the 3 Fluffies, Mini Me, and Tiny. The same brand I use. Hold on, it's kind of hard to dig in the bag and use my hands at the same time. Not really working out for me here. You get the palette I use. And you get 3 to 4 ounces of reusable containers of the paint I use. See the container compared to my hand? You have enough paint here to last a millennium, and it is the exact paint I use, the exact colors I use every single party. No, not the liner. This is basics. These are just the basics. It's Big Boy, my 3 Fluffies, Mini Me, and Tiny. So, but like I said, Big Boy lasts 5+ years, and you also get an easel. Hold on. Now, the long skinny brush is just a liner, so that's really simple for you guys to pick up anywhere. And you also get an easel. So, there's the easel. So the easel fits the 11 by 14s. So you get the easel, the palette, the 5 brushes I use for my parties on Fridays, all of this paint, instructions on how to care for your stuff, 2 11 by 14 canvases. Oh wow, Nancy, it lasted you that long? That's amazing. Thanks, Catherine. And it all fits in this handy dandy canvas bag that you can decorate if you would like to. So there's lots of good stuff. Nancy ordered one. Nancy that's on this video right now, she ordered one for me. My Friday event, all of my events are free. I could totally ship to Canada, Jen. Yep, so it's $45 plus shipping and handling. And I just spilt my seltzer all over the counter. It's one of those nights. Yep, PayPal. You could definitely do PayPal. So basically you give me a $30 deposit. Hi, Julie. How you doing, sweetheart? So I just spilt my seltzer. You guys want to see what a doof I am? I just spilt my seltzer all over the counter. That's what I did. Right? Right? Just making messes. That's what I do. But, yeah, so it's $45 plus shipping and handling. Basically, it's a $30 deposit via PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. And then once I get the shipping information, you do the shipping and the difference. Yeah, Magna, you know me. I'm always making messes. I'm always making messes. All right, so back to our foliage. As Jen puts it, foliage. All right, so now that that is dry, that first layer is definitely dry, but my counter is not. My counter is definitely not dry. But my foliage is dry. Let me grab some paper towels. Oh my goodness. All right. It's the same as this. What you're talking about is a Zoom, Cheryl. Those I do custom parties with Zoom, and every once in a while I'll do a Zoom special. But Friday is exactly like this. This Friday, I'm actually doing a theater one for a girl named Julie that paints with me all the time. I didn't finish it yet because all honesty, I haven't been really feeling that well, but here's the stage. Here's the stage. So this is going to be music coming out, and I'm going to have the theater masks and the lights. So it's going to be a special request from one of the girls that paint with me all the time. So, fluffy, nice and dry. Now that this is dry, you want to go in. Yeah, if you guys have any requests, let me know. But I have theater, I have a sloth, I have a dragon. Theater and music was that one. I have a fiesta. Hey, Tracy. So, now that my uck is dry, I'm going to just grab red. Okay? And you just want to pop that on. And if you notice, when you smush and push, it does like a bold thing up here, and then it's soft underneath. So I call it a smush and push. Smush, push. Smush, push. I just wind up doing it very quickly. So not a lot of paint. I'm glad you like your painting, Magna. So not a lot of paint, smush, push, okay? And now I'm going to go and just grab yellow, because yellow and red make orange. Notice me skipping around. Notice me not putting everything in one place. I'm smushing and pushing. I'm leaving that red back there. I'm leaving that brown back there. I'm leaving all those pretty colors back there. I'm pushing with hardly any paint on my brush. Okay, so to get the pop of yellow, this will have to dry again. So I will finish my video with that. I want to show you a few things about getting really cool bark. It's kind of like what we did with the birch tree. So let me move you over here to my trunk. Sorry if the camera's moving around a lot. I'm trying to show you good spots. Now, the same thing with like what we did with the birch tree. You can grab your cardboard, you could grab your palette knife, which I'm going to grab. You can grab all sorts of things if you like. And it's pretty much the same thing we did with the birch tree, except you want to have browns, different browns going on, which I'm mixing up real fast here. Yeah, and using the palette knife to mix paint is really fun too. So, like, I literally just put all those colors on here and I'm mixing it up with my palette knife. See that? So, that's kind of fun to do. It's just a fun thing to do. That's what you saw Bob Ross do all the time. It's fun, right? Alright, so in your trunk, I'm using the palette knife. You can do it just like the birch. Right? Swoops across, giving that little bit of whatever. But I also like to put like really thick pieces of all different colors to give it texture. So I just grab different browns and black and all sorts of things, and this will give it all sorts of textures in the trunk if it's a really close-up tree. Now, you can do this with a paintbrush, you can do this with a palette knife, you can do this with the cardboard, the string, however your little heart desires. Same way we did the birch tree, except I did all these different little textures in there. And that was just by grabbing different colors of paint. And if the tree's really, really close, you'll get to see all of this fun stuff. Another thing that you need to do is the last step is when you put your foliage on. When you put your foliage on, thanks, Catherine. I've been doing this a long time, sweetie. That's just grabbing different paint and mushing it on there. It was nothing special. I just grabbed all different colors of paint with my knife. I put it on there and smushed it around. You can do the same thing with the cardboard, the credit card, the string, whatever you want. It's just grabbing different paint, smushing it around. So the next thing you need to do, though, is the last thing you do with a tree is you have a whole thing of foliage, right? And you want to add the branches that are peeking through. So you want to add, and say you got a big blob. You're like, oh goodness, I got a big blob of foliage and it just looks like a big mess and I don't know what to do with it and everything that's going on, right? So let's go over here. Say I have that big blob of foliage, right? And I do this, then I let it dry, then I add my last highlight color for the fall. So, but it's really personal preference. So once this is dry, I can go back and add the yellow. I'm going to show you that just because it's going to look cool. But right in here, say, oh my goodness, I did a big blob or whatever. I don't know what's going on. You grab your tiny brush. That's right, Nancy, you got it. You grab your tiny brush. I started painting when I was 12. And I started painting when I was 12, and I watched Bob Ross and a few other people. Then I kind of took a hiatus in my 20s, and then I got back to painting probably late 20s, early 30s. So I've been painting for about 30 years. Yeah, 30 years. I'm all self-taught. I took 2 classes in college, but that was when I was getting my associates for the Easy A. So all that good stuff. So anybody has the power to create. Anybody has the power to paint. I totally 100% believe that. All right, so we got this big blob in here, right? So I'm going to find a branch I did before, and I'm just going to kind of sneak some of it right back in again. And, you know, you can jump over some of your paint. All right? And then also you could turn around and say there's a branch. So we see this branch sneaking through. And notice how that completely pushes that foliage to the back. It stops it from being one big blob. And all you did was show a branch that was hiding in the foliage. So that is all that you did. All that you did. Now, you can also, like, instead of going that technical, awesome, Magna. You see this little thing back here, right? So we can refine that. And I'm just going to put that piece in. And then I'm just going to say, hey, in here, I'm just going to put, like, a little piece of branch coming. Just like that. See? So it doesn't have to be even attached to anything. It's totally floating out there. But when you look at it from back here, now your tree looks like a tree. That's what makes it look 3D. That's right, hon. That's it. That's the trick. That is the trick. Just putting those branches in. That's it. And then you can do the foliage with your fan brush. I'll show you the yellow with the fan brush. It's the same thing as the pine tree. So you just load in one corner, kind of load in the other pieces. You push, 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 push with that corner, and then you just move your brush. All I'm doing is pushing with that corner and kind of wiggling my brush around like this. Excuse me. So I am just spinning my brush around. So it is all personal preference. It all depends on what brushes you like better than others. I personally like my Fluffies, but it is all up to you. Nancy, you got through half of your paint. That's about it. Really? It's lasted that long? That's really cool. I totally noticed that before. So once this is dry, then you can throw your yellow on top and see how it pops nice. Notice I'm not filling the whole thing with yellow. I'm skipping around. Excuse me, sorry. So this way you have, and I'm just mashing that corner in. I'm just mashing that corner. I'm just mashing the corner. If you notice, see, I'm mashing the corner. I'm going up to the canvas like horizontal. I'm mashing that corner. That's how I'm putting this yellow in. So you want to make sure you skip around and you just kind of move the fan brush around a little bit. This is a really small fan brush, so that's cool. You can also use the fan brush to put the lines in the trunk because it separates paint a little bit more. So you can use that for that. But the key is to let it dry, and then you can put your other pops of color on top of it. Don't try to paint all of your colors at the same time, because with it being wet, you're going to get a big old mess. All right. I did faraway trees. I did pine trees, which you can't see anymore. Pine trees in summer, pine trees in winter. We did our birch tree. We had a lot of fun. He looks like he's a little damaged, but that's okay. And we got our big old regular tree with spring coloring and fall coloring. Yes, the white you're going to run out. The white you're going to run out first. It's acrylic paint. The white, you always run out of white first. So I think that's all I have to show you, unless anybody has any questions. I'm just going to scroll through your comments. I think I missed some. It's kind of hard to read. And who doesn't like a fiesta? That's absolutely true. I did give you the dragon, Magna. Of course I did. It was her Christmas present. I'll have to paint it, Magna. And Nancy, you're totally right. Thank you so much. Yes, I am schooled in math. You finished your Winter Wonderland. I totally want to do it. Bye, Magna. Bye, sweetie. Winter. Okay, winter. Winter on a tree like this. Winter on a tree like this is there's no leaves. You're welcome, Isabel. So there's no leaves on a winter tree like this tree. A pine tree, the pine trees I had before at the beginning of the video, I tapped snow on top of so you can see it. I actually bought awesome Magna. So gesso to buy that is good coverage but not too pricey. Let me see. Let me see what I got here. I have I think the last one I bought was Liquitex. I mean, I don't get too fancy. This one's not even really a name brand either. But you can, thanks, Julie. What is gesso? All right, I walked away to go get the gesso and I missed a lot of things. Oh, thank you. Do you save Friday's videos to complete later? Yes, I do. I always save Friday's videos to complete later. Gesso, you prime your canvases with gesso. It makes the surface smoother. You could also cover up old paintings with gesso. It's backwards. This you can't really. It's Gesso. Honestly, I've never tried to spray gesso. I like being able to control how it goes on the canvas. I've heard other people try it. They like it. I think that I'd rather just get a container. I have never ran into a bad gesso. Some you need a couple of more coats, but you know, it runs pretty fairly affordable. So I wouldn't really like worry about spending like money on that $65 thing of gesso. I mean, you don't want to go cheap, but at the same point, if you buy any of the middle ground one, you'll be fine. Liquitex is good. Blick is always good. Those are two good brands. This one is just this is Daler Rowney. I've never even heard of them. My daughter picked it up for me for Christmas. That worked great. So honestly, if you wind up getting a gesso and it's just not that good of quality, you just put more coats on and you're still fine. So gesso. Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. Yes. Let me do my closing. So thank you guys for watching me. I'm Eve with Eve's Creations Paint Party. This was our second How To Tuesday. Next week we are doing water. So I'm going to show you waterfalls. I'm going to show you rivers. I'm going to show you lakes. I'm going to show you reflections. Next week is water. This Friday is going to be a music themed painting. All my paintings are available for replay. It's always free to watch. Gratuity is appreciated. Thank you so much. If you think I'm awful, you don't have to send me a tip, but support another artist, okay? And I want everybody to have fun and go create. You all warm my heart. All right, now that I finished that, I can get back to answering you guys. Yes, Cheryl, you can reuse your canvases. They call it being primed. When a canvas is primed, that means that it has layers of gesso on it. Oh, Robin, welcome to the family, hon. It's 7 o'clock, 6:55, Tuesdays and Fridays. Welcome to the family, sweetie. Thank you so much. So, 7, Tuesdays and Fridays, 6:55. Always, always, always. So, a canvas is primed. By primed, it means it has a coat of white on it. Usually you're buying them pre-primed. You're not even realizing you are. And then the more of this you put on it, it can make a smoother surface. You can also, yes, Eastern Standard Time. I'm in New Jersey, guys. Good looks, Cheryl. Good looks, because I always forget about that. I forget I'm international, baby. And some of you are over towards the west. This is amazing. That's one thing amazing about technology. You can paint over anything with it, so you can reuse the canvas. I don't suggest doing that more than twice. So there's lots of things for gesso, and it's just more affordable than painting over something with white paint. That's all. That's all there is. So I think I got you guys on the gesso explanation. And if you have any other questions, go for it. Because this is for you. This practice is for you. This practice is for you. So I think, yep, I think I covered the trees pretty well. If you missed the pine trees, if you're just logging on, somebody did ask me about winter trees. That's in the beginning of the video, okay? Oh, you're so welcome, Cheryl. You're welcome. So, and anybody that was interested in the paint kits asking me throughout the feed, you can definitely DM me. Or it's so funny, I wasn't planning on showing the kits at all today. And bye, Cheryl. And I wound up showing them anyway because you guys asked about it. So that's cool. The information's in the event page about my kits. And I hope everybody enjoyed my little practice session, and I hope everybody has fun and they go create. And if you ever have any questions when you're watching a replay, feel free to message me. I'll try to answer any questions you may have. And I just want to thank everybody really very much. You all warm my heart, and I'm so glad to be able to do this for everybody. So bye, guys. Bye. Alrighty. Okay, Jen, no worries. Thank you so much. It's just a one-stop shop. Some people don't, you know, like, I honestly, Jen, really, I put those kits together because I got very, very angry when I saw what was being offered to people that weren't, you know, didn't have the knowledge on what to buy as far as art supplies are concerned. And I didn't really like that. So I wanted to put something together that would be a great product that was going to last, and that is definitely perfect for people just starting out how to paint. And you get everything in one shot, and you don't have to worry about what to buy, and it is exactly everything I use in my tutorials. Same brushes, same palette, same paint, everything. Only difference is that the canvases are smaller and your easel's smaller, and that's it. I have no idea what the shipping cost is for Canada. I'm so sorry. Bye, Jen. Thank you so much. That's okay, sweetheart. I'm not, like I said, I wasn't even planning on talking about them tonight. So it's all good. It is definitely not necessary purchase. It's just that I have them if somebody would like them. I have no idea what the shipping for Canada is, Sue. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I'd have to definitely look that up. That's why I just do a deposit, and then when I get the shipping cost, I send a picture of the receipt with the shipping on it, and then the difference in the shipping is paid after I send it out. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, you're so welcome, Sue. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see y'all on Friday. I will have the event for Friday posted really soon, hopefully tonight. And I can't wait to paint with you all again. And I really hope that this was helpful. I hope that this was helpful for everybody. I made a big old mess on my counter that I'm going to clean up. And if you have any last minute questions, let me know. I'm going to stay live for maybe about another minute or two. Okay? Oh, there's a sad face there. You know what I'll do? On my page, I can repost the, yeah, maybe I'll do that. They're on the event page, but I can repost a whole explanation of the kits further up on my business page if you guys would like. I'll do that. All right. So, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Just because you asked me. Thank you. Sue, thank you so much. Yeah, good thing it was seltzer, so at least it's not going to be sticky. But yeah, and then I had to move it because I almost spilt it again. So I did make a mess, but that's okay. It is what it is. I'll clean it up. I always get paint on myself. I get paint on the counter. I get paint everywhere. Yeah, it was just seltzer, so I was okay with that. Just seltzer. I noticed I don't drink enough water, so, but I like the seltzer. Something I grew into. I never liked it when I was younger, but I like it now. That was fun. That tree's actually looking kind of cool. Alrighty, everybody. If there's no more questions, thank you so much for watching. Mwah. Have fun. Go create. Okay? Thanks. Bye.